Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the Gridiron Studios Retro Halo Jumper loadout. Now, here's part of it. I didn't want to bring the rest of it over. It's got a mask. It has, obviously, the parachute. It has oxygen tanks. It has a helmet. It has the retro-style gun. And we're going to take a look at all this. And then I'm going to show you how to put it on an actual figure. And what we're actually going to make today is the Night Force Ripcord. And this figure will be coming with the Dragonfly, but maybe you're impatient and you want to make one right now. Or maybe you didn't get the Dragonfly, but you really like the Ripcord, the Night Force. So I'm going to show you what we can do to make this and what figure we're going to use. So, we are going to use a Valaverse all-black figure. They also have, if you can still get some of the camouflage ones, you can make your actual Ripcord rather than waiting for Hasbro to make it yourself. But anyway, we're going to take a look at this, everything that it comes with, get the figure in there, and then go from there. And I'll show you how to do it, because a lot of people, you might still be worried about popping off the legs and different things like that. So anyway, let's go look at that, not this. But before we do, if you like all this Gridiron stuff, and God, I have given you guys a lot of Gridiron, and I'm falling more in love with just the design of everything. Oops, needed that shirt all the way down so you can see A Punk with Toys. The stuff they do, it is firsthand, it is expensive stuff, but the quality that you're going to get, the detail on it is absolutely wonderful. But anyway, before we do, if you like all this stuff, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Gridiron video, which you'll finally think coming towards the end, but I'm sure there'll always be a little more. Now let's take a look. Alright, so here we have it. We got the figure that we're going to use, and we got our hot tap water. That is right, hot tap water. And you're asking, what's the hot tap water for? Well, it's for two things. One thing is so we can throw this figure in there, heat him up so we can pop the legs off and anything else that we need to get him off. And also, because we're going to be throwing a Gridiron loadout on a Valaverse figure, there is a possibility that it goes up in flames. So we need water to put it out if that happens, because if you don't know, one company doesn't like the other, you know, because his stuff is 3D printed and it's made in the good, wonderful country, the United States of America. But anyway, let's throw him in here. We'll take a look at this stuff, and then we'll pop everything off of him. I'll show you what hands I'm going to use. One thing that is great is you should always have a base of Vala hands. Again, so many of them that find the color that you want. And of course, we definitely want to kind of match them to this figure, which I love the color scheme. Unfortunately, the helmet and the mask don't stay on because of the plastic that they use with these O-rings. So, quickly, we're going to take a look at everything that we get with this. So, first, we'll take a look at the gun. Here we go. It is his classic gun that really came in the, well, a similar gun, all right? It came in this green with the original one. So we're going to take a look at it here. Nice detail on it. You do have a removable magazine. And what I love about the Gridiron stuff is you don't have tiny magazines, you know? No tiny hands like Kenny Pickett, the quarterback. But you have your detail here. You obviously have scope right there. Unfortunately, this is warped just a slight bit, so we're going to throw it in the water. We're going to straighten it out. I'll show you how to straighten these things out also really quick here. But the design here, again, everything looks nice. Trigger guard. So let's remove this, throw that in the water for just a few seconds, then we'll straighten it out and it should cool perfectly fine. All right, so we have our, I don't want to say it's a backpack, it's a parachute pack. We have the pouches on the front. You have your hooks and everything, again, 3D printed. And this here is going to be painted silver. You have your actual ripcords, which are silver. And the way this is it just pulls out. And now you're going to drop the figure inside here. You don't need to remove the arms or anything like that, as long as you can get the secondary, the plate carrier off there. And you can see all these pouches, none of them do anything. Here is where you can actually put the gun. Now, you probably don't want it there if you're trying to loosen the chute, but I could be wrong. But the detail is always top notch on these things here. You have what's supposed to be a flap that flips up. Obviously it doesn't, but this thing just looks really nice. So much detail put into this. So let's grab our gun really quick. And like I say, what you want to do is, so it actually straightens out itself. All right. It was in a box. That's how they ship them, in a bag, in a box. And you can see it automatically straightens itself out. So make sure you have your towel so you can dry it. I didn't want to put the towel down just yet until I get the figure out. And that's just because I'm trying to show you everything. Now the figure is perfectly fine. You could take him out now and take his hands off and his legs off, but I want to go through the design. And again, I will reiterate, hot tap water. Do not use boiling water. Hot tap water works fine. You could use a blow dryer or a heat gun. I like water because it heats the figure out completely throughout it. All right. So here is why we need to remove the legs. So we're going to need to remove at least one leg and then pop it back on. So the harness is going to go around here, which is supposed to imitate that. You have a nice grenade there. 2 different oxygen. So one is painted green. Mask should plug right in here. And they fit right down inside perfectly fine. And then this one here is just all black. Again, really nice detail. All right. Hold, plug the oxygen in there. We do have another piece here. I'll probably use it for something else. That's why it's there. So I'm not sure. Like this here, if you have a canteen and you want to plug that into there, you probably can. A lot of their stuff is very modular. So, spot there. I can plug that canteen into it if I want. So just like I could probably plug, I think the radio goes there. I don't think I have any radios. So, at least not any near me. But you can look at that design and you can see how soft and pliable it is. We got the helmet we're going to look at, and I hope this fits properly on his head. And I love the fact that the shield is glossy. You can see the light up there. Everything else is like a matte black. You can tell where the visor goes here, how it's going to flip up inside of it. And then we have the mask. All right. A nice long hose. Take note of this, Hasbro, if anyone's watching. Give us a longer hose so we can do things with figures like Torpedo and the Eel and different things like that. All right. So now let's pop our figure out of the water. And once again, he's not caught on fire yet because, well, we have not thrown any of the stuff on it. So what we want to do is we're going to remove this piece here, the belt, and the plate. Now, this just comes right off. And I got a lot of hands from Duster. That's actually what I made out of this figure. This was using all of Duster stuff. If you remember, Valiverse had a sale on Dusters because they didn't sell that well. So, there we go with that. Now, what we want to do to pop off the leg, which is extremely easy, is you're just going to twist it like this, and it should just pop right off, maybe. So there you go. This is the older Valiverse stuff, right? Plastic was much stiffer. Want to get the hand off, especially while it's cooled down. Now, I'm going to use these hands. I don't even know who they go to, just because the color is closer. Actually, these actually use darker green right there, but I actually have this hand on. I hate this hand, the C-cup hand. It's really only good, in my personal opinion, for let me pop that right in. It's really only good for double holding a pistol. I don't like it on the rifles. I'd rather pry the hands open and wrap it around. Now, when you do a Valaverse figure, if you are going to use a figure like this, make sure it plugs in all the way. Some of the older figures, they don't plug in all that well. You really got to force it, so heat them up nicely. All right, so now all we're going to do is, here is the front way. I believe we can get this on with just removing one leg. So I'm going to slide this right up, move that ball joint right out of the way. And this is how easy it is to remove these. I know a lot of people, you may be scared to do this, and that's why I'm showing you. I've shown it on a few other Valaverse, or not Valaverse, Gridiron loadouts. Tony's Figs, he did a pretty good review showing how to do it with, I think the Night Viper, or not Night Viper, I forget which one it is. Just check out Tony's Figs. Tony's Figs. He'll get mad if you say Tony Figs. Now what we're going to do is pop. We might have to heat this back up. Now, I'm trying to be very careful here for many reasons, but one of the big reasons is I don't want to screw up this. So, ball joint is nice and hard. Well, I actually forgot to pull off this piece anyway. So, let's get this med pack off, which actually wouldn't look that bad if you were to keep that on there. But one thing that you start to realize is sometimes less is more. You'll see a lot of people, they try and add as many things as possible. Well, sometimes you just have to kind of sit back and use a little less. Because once you start adding too much, you really start realizing you've just made it gawky. And if you have a car like that, and you don't think you do, well, then you probably do. All right. So getting this leg back on is kind of difficult because I can't see where it's at. I don't want to drop this back in the water. So I'm going to have to heat this up just a little bit more. Yeah, that thing is not... Man, this thing is in... That's why a lot of people had an issue with the early Valaverse figures. They have changed the plastic that they're using. It is much better now, but you still have these old figures. They were decent enough figures. You just have to deal with a few of those little minor issues. So, and I'm trying to do this in real time so I can show you exactly how long this is really going to take. All right. But another thing is, this is real hard plastic, but if you're trying to heat something up, you're trying to fix a mushroom, the mushroom peg, just kind of tell you a little bit. You're trying to get this mushroom peg on the older ones here. Everyone says heat this up and push it through. Don't heat it up and push it through. Heat up this side, the whole side, then push the mushrooms through while they're still cold, because it'll go through much easier. All right, so let's give this another try. And again, the reason why this one is so difficult is because this is definitely in our way, but you kind of have to move it to get that leg back on. And tell you what, this thing, there we go. All right, so now we have leg back on. See how that looks. I got it pushed up to where it needs to be. Now we're going to take our big parachute. And I like the fact that I can just drop this right over now. I have my daughter on standby. She's got the fire extinguisher. Got the water here just in case something goes up in flames. So, all right, so here we go. And I'm just going to use the regular mask here. Again, this is the Marlon Wayans version of Ripcord. All right. So now this is on. I think it looks pretty good there. Now what we're going to do is, let's take our helmet and see how the helmet... So the helmet is definitely pretty loose. All right. Now, completely blacked out. I'm perfectly fine with that. We have to get this inside. So, this is what I do, the stuff that I do. So you can see firsthand exactly how long this is going to take. So here we are, we're sitting at 13 minutes. And you can see it doesn't take that long to get this properly. It would take less time if I'm not too busy worried about you guys seeing everything that's happening, showing you guys and explaining what's going on. But getting this mask on, I can definitely say I'm having a little trouble with it. So I don't like this. I don't like how the mask goes on. I feel like I'm missing something. And so it doesn't... Yeah, I feel like it should go under... Well, maybe it's supposed to go on top here. But that just seems kind of weird. Huh. I feel like a magic button that someone just shows up and shows me how to do it. Oh, of course I've dropped it. As always, something gets dropped. All right. There we go. So there's that. So I'm not having any luck on how that is supposed to go on there. I mean, I can't imagine it just sits like that, but maybe I'm wrong. That thing's just going to fall right off. We're going to... All right, so anyway. Here, as we look here, we've kind of just plugged the hose in, and you can go to either hose that you want. Hopefully I don't have to heat that up. All right. I think we might need to heat the hose up, but I just really don't want to. All right, so I am going to stop it for a second. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look and see exactly how they had this helmet, because something just doesn't seem right. Okay, so I got the mask on, and it actually is supposed to plug in a certain way, and I will show you. So here you can see, get the mask on, you can move it around. And even though this is kind of loose on the head, because it has the black balaclava underneath it, it's not a problem. So this thing will pop right off. All right. And if you look here, you can see that there's two little notches. Now, unfortunately, this is very pliable, so it makes it harder to get this thing in here. But once you can slide that thing in, that's what she said, it's not bad. And as you see, I can get the one side on. Now all we're going to do is put this other side on. And I'm trying my hardest to look over the camera to keep it in film, along with my beat up old hands that I need to use lotion, or else I'm sure someone will make a rude comment. So there you go. That is how it does go on. It does take a little bit of time, a little bit of trial and error, and it is it can be frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. But now we have the mask all set up. Here we have his gun. Now, again, because this thing is so bulky, you can only do so much, but you can pop that piece off nice and easy, and then have him doing his mission. So here we go. I like to hold them. Again, I like using a regular hand, but you can use any different hand you wanted. So if you are impatient, you don't want to wait for the dragonfly, you want this guy here, here's an easy way that you can create one. Again, he has a very similar gun. Now his was all black, but hey, you know what? Go out and hit up with some spray paint and spray it. And you can see exactly how, have your own. One thing he doesn't have is the little booties. But the helmet is kind of loose. At least on this figure. That means you could use it on other figures. These heads on Valiverse seem to be a little bit looser, a little bit smaller. So, but there you go. I think this figure looks really nice. It's not for everyone. A lot of people say, hey, I can wait for a $25 Airborne or hell, even a $30 Airborne if it's deluxe to come out. Not everyone can. Maybe you can't wait for the Night Force. Maybe you didn't get the Night Force. It's hard to tell. Hard to say. You can do whatever you want. But as you can see, I pretty much recreated it. And I think it looks really nice. But it is a $40 loadout, but you do get a lot. This parachute, I don't think you're going to get anything like this when it comes to Hasbro. This is just really beefy and there's a lot to it. So, all right, let's wrap this up. All right, so there you have it. The what's it called? The Gridiron Studios Retro Halo Jumper Loadout. Basically, I'm going to call this my Night Force Ripcord. Technically, it's not mine. It's my buddy's. But you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I think it looks really nice. I think it is worth the price, but it is going to be kind of frustrating. And if you say, hey, you know what? I'm not, I'm willing to wait it out and pay a little less. I'm sure Hasbro's going to do a wonderful Ripcord when it comes out. And I'm sure the Night Force one that we're going to get with the HasLab Dragonfly is going to be really wonderful also. But there you go. If you need to make this and you want to have some fun, maybe you just want a bunch of paratroopers. Maybe you want to put it on Duke or Airborne or Stalker, whoever, right? You do what you want. It's your toy. No one's taking it away, right? You do what you want. And if you want to put a Valiverse figure inside of a Gridiron Studios, I proved they don't go up in flames. I mean, I'm not positive. I wouldn't leave it on here in my house around a flammable area because it just may. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. There you go. You guys know the deal. If you're on social media, if you're on Instagram, A Punk with Toys, there's 2 of them. Subscribe to both because you'll get a little bit of different content on both. The Facebook group page, Punks with Toys. We're almost up to 400 members. It's just memes. It's toys. It's fun. It's no BS. All right. Last but not least, you know the deal. That right here, not right here. I'm not pointing to something, and there ain't nothing there. But take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, so you're notified every time I drop Gridiron, G.I. Joe, Mythic Legions, Masters of the Universe, but no one watches it. Any type of video. Also, when I go live, I should mention that. Monday Night Toy Ramblings, every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is me just rambling on because it's late, Friday night, and I'm tired. I should be asleep, but I'm not. Now, don't go anywhere. What I am going to tell you right now is up here is going to be this awesome Gridiron shotgun thing, and down here will be a playlist of all the Gridiron videos that I've done